is dark out. So I changed the actuator. That's easy peasy, right? So in order to change those, what you need to do is this clip here. Screwdriver underneath. Oh, let me do this side so you don't move. Stick your screwdriver underneath and you lift up those little teeth, right? Boom. Oops. Of course I pushed it too far. So bingo, right? And then that clips around the ball right here. Easy peasy wheezy. Boom, boom. Look at that. Perfect now, right? Now you just grab that, lock, unlock, magique. I think that's French, right, for magic? Magique. Anyway, easy peasy. So it's about 7:30, and the coyotes have been howling. You can see the remnants of the sunset. Nice and cloudy out this evening. A little humid. And I don't even know what temperature it is, but it's probably it's got to be in the 80s, because I'm feeling it. All right. See you in the morning. Top of the morning to you. So I got the bowl done, and the top fits nice. Unfortunately, the bottom kind of sagged. All right. Nice tight fit, just my size. So the bottom kind of drooped down a little bit there, and now I don't know, right, how they're gonna be able to measure that, but that should give them an idea, right, of what needs to be fixed. All right, let's just push that up. All right. That should be all right. I mean, the only dimensions that should change from their original drawing is this dimension here, the thickness here, right? Because the back end was right. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, the sun's coming up, and now I got big job ahead to remove those hydraulic lines in that, and I'd like to get that done and out and down at the hose place by noon today, but I don't see that happening, but I'm going to try for that. And hope for the best. I don't see how you're right, how difficult it could be. There's just two connections here, right? These two, that line back there and that line back there, right? And they go, and then you got the clamp, right, holding the lines down. And then I believe it's that line right there on this side, and then there's another one on the exact opposite side, and there's a clamp back there. So we're gonna find out how frustrating it is. I don't know. I watched a guy on YouTube. He had the same problem, except those lines had blown out on him, and he took the whole cab, not the whole cab, but the whole cowling off. And I'm probably going to do the same thing. because I think it would be easier if the cowling was off, as opposed to me fighting and trying to figure out why it's not coming out, and then have to take the cowling off. So last night I took care of this. Oh, I locked it. I mean, I got a habit of locking everything. Let's get the key here. Yeah. So it's going to be another 102-degree day, according to the weather woman. And last night it was right. Now that's the way things are supposed to work. So I'm glad that worked out. Let me unlock this battery cage. Let me unlock everything this way. I'm not playing games. So when I got the machine here, there we go. There's the inside of the cab. It's pretty clean, considering. All right. So when I got the machine and I did the oils and stuff on it, I cleaned the battery box out because that had a lot of sludge on the bottom. Imagine that. And I blew the radiator out, but it looks like when I drove it in the 4 miles, it sucked up a lot more dust. I did the battery cables. I cleaned the battery cables, cleaned the ground connection on it, and I was missing the J-hook for this side, so I just ran some safety wire on it. I know I got a bunch of J-hooks up at the Palace in Idaho. I'll if I remember to write it down. And then of course I put a solar battery charger up on the roof, so this way the battery should never go dead. And this is the air cleaner. I looked at the air cleaner. Air cleaner's brand new. Shook it out a little bit. Nothing came out. Put it back in. We're good to go. Here's my fuel filter, 922-24, 922-24 on the oil filter. And things are looking along. I know the radiator antifreeze is going to have to be drained and flushed, but that's not a priority right now. All right, let me get to it. I'm sure this battery on the GoPro is going to run out, and I have a feeling that the GoPro is going to be full of memory, so we'll see how much footage I can get. And I'm going to try to be expeditious and not move the camera. I'm just going to set the camera up for a wide view. Alright, I got the cowlings off. I did see something I didn't like. This bracket is supposed to be welded, I believe, to that bracket, not sticking up, rubbing on the hose. So I'll have to spin that around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up. And I'm going to use the GoPro here to help me find the leak, because I can't seem to find it. I believe I have to have the line that's leaking pressurized in order for it to leak. So I'll have to operate the machine to find out what's causing the leak. All right, nice little black spaghetti here, right? But so all right, let me fire it up, and hopefully I have enough memory in there to see what's leaking. Yeah, I think that's pretty close. That's not going to be as easy as I anticipated, right? See anything while it's at idle. All right. Okay, I found it. I found it. This big line here, it's leaking from the control valve to that V-nut. See how it's wet? Alright. doesn't look too bad. All right, let me shut it down. Maybe I should turn the cab so this is out here, right? So I can work on it without having to step on the track. I think I'm gonna do that. That might make it easier for me. That, yeah, that should make working on that a lot easier. Now I don't know what are the chances of me having an O-ring in my O-ring kit that big. All right, so fortunately it's just a short line here, from here down to here. So if I have to take that off on the top to get it out of the way, that might work. All right, well, I'll have at it and let you know what the diagnosis is going to be when I'm done, or the recovery, or the outcome. It's okay. All right, so I just put the wrench on it. Loose as a goose. Well, maybe all I have to do is tighten it up. Wouldn't that be marvelous? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. What is that white? Yeah, I know. I'm an excellent cameraman. All right. Wow. Wow. And double wow. All right. Let me get a crow's foot on there and a socket, crow's foot and a ratchet, a crow's foot and a ratchet. Tighten that down and fire it back up again. See you in a few seconds in. Alrighty, I tightened that up, sprayed it down with brake cleaner, wiped everything up, cleaned the tray off, rerouted these wires. They had them routed up and around in there. They're supposed to go down here. Missing a tie down, but I can live with that. As you can see, I don't know, you can see that? See that hose right there? The steel braid is sticking out on that, and the steel braid is sticking out back here on, right? And it's also sticking out down there. I think that one's probably the worst. I think it's all the way through the steel belts. And that's because somebody routed it underneath this one. If they would have laid it next to it, I don't think that would have been a problem. But I want to change that. So cleaned it up the best I could. Let's fire it up and see if it leaks. looks like I didn't tighten it enough. I got another maybe 1/16 of a turn on it. So it looks good now though. I don't see anything. It's not getting wet on the top. It was getting wet. Getting wet on the top right there. Right there, it was getting wet on the top. So now it's seems to be good. I'm extremely content with that repair. Alright, I guess now I gotta figure out how to get that hose out without dumping the contents of the hydraulic tank. Alright, see you in a few.